It's like such a mess. Good morning. It is me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect that to be reflected back to us in our external environment, in our interactions with others. And if we want things to change, we really do have to shift and change within ourselves. And when you're listening to these readings, if you listen to the information that you receive about the opposite side of self that you are usually in tune with, meaning if you are a feminine identifying individual, you may feel that you already know everything about feminine energy. However, that's also usually not the case, but just that might be something that you feel. And then you might be less in tune with the masculine energy. And so you come to the reading to try to find out what your masculine identifying person is thinking because of this information you're getting from this energy that I'm reading. However, if you can get in tune with inside of yourself how this masculine and feminine energy is functioning within you, and you start to shift and change with inside of yourself, then you will see the people around you automatically have to reflect back your own energy. And if they don't, they usually just fall to the wayside. So let us begin. Now, I used to do this reading. It used to be quite exhaustive. I used to have 4 decks. And in recent weeks, I have tried to bring this down to a more manageable size. I was doing meditations at the beginning of each of my videos, but I'm actually going to start doing those at certain times of the week, and I'm going to do them separately so they're available on YouTube for people. So it's no longer going to be at the very beginning of my reading, but you will be able to see those. It's actually visualization, really. And I will just be doing little shorter ones that I will put on the YouTubes and on TikTok. And also, please go follow me on all the things. Click the link below. There's a lot of things you can do. You can send me a deck. I haven't gotten a deck in a long time. I would be super excited to get one, actually. Although I do have too many decks. Wait, did I just say that? That's not a thing. I have enough decks. I need more because I get bored. I read cards every day. I definitely want more images. And I just love the excitement. Awesome, Tanya. Hi, I'm seeing you over here now too. Cool, you can moderate over here on the side. I wonder if can I make you a moderator over here? I've never done that before. Yes. Boom. Now you're a YouTube moderator. Love that for you. Okay. So yes, you can send me a deck. You can also send me a gift. There's a list of things that I need when I move into the apartment that I was supposed to move into 2 months ago, but have not been able to get into yet because I'm still needing a lot more bookings, a lot more donations, and a lot more love. If you've been following me for a very, very long time, you know that I'm here every day. I bring you hundreds of hours of content, and I love to do it. And if I could do it for free, I would totally do it for free. But alas, I'm finding that if I continue to do this job and nothing else, it doesn't look like I'm going to be getting into an apartment anytime soon. So if you want to increase the probability that I'm going to be able to stay in this field of work and still afford to live where I live and do what I do, please contribute in some way to my channel. And as a person who struggles financially, if you are having financial difficulties and you cannot contribute, there are energetic things you can do. Pray for me, number 1. Number 2, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your wife, all that good stuff. Okay. But I did want to pull one card for the theme for this reading. So let's do that. Even though we're not going to do the full visualization, I just want you to imagine something that you think would make you feel better right now. It's too many cards. Something that you think would make you feel better right now. Just visualize it. If you know already how to do that visualization, welcome to do it. We're just doing a real lickety-splickety one today. I saw that one, so I want to get one I haven't seen. So think about what would make you feel better. It's really giving me a hard time here. What would make you feel better right now? Yes, that would make me feel better. Okay, so that's what you think would make you feel better. But I am going to give you what would actually make you feel better today. And that is, the Knight of Swords. That's so funny. That's so funny for what I thought and what this card actually is. So whatever you thought would make you feel better, that's what your ego is attached to. that thing you think is going to make you feel better. And, you know, it probably would make you feel a little bit better, but I don't know if it would give you the consistent feelings that you are seeking in the long term. So, oh my gosh, Tanya, that's so interesting. She just received her liquid courage phone call last night. I love that for you. I'm patiently awaiting mine. I don't know if it will ever come. Perhaps it will, perhaps it won't. Either way, I'm still gonna look gorgeous. All right, so the Knight of Swords. In reverse is an interesting thing because it's showing me that what you actually need is for things to slow down. Like if it like and you're like, excuse me, what is fast? I've been waiting a long time, so there is nothing fast about my situation. Well, that might be true in some respects, but I feel that there might be this urgency or this rushing energy that you are kind of um, putting into your situation that is not really helping. You're trying to push it or make it go faster because of impatience. And the problem with that is that that can lead to recklessness. It can lead to dissatisfaction, because if you don't take your time with something, you usually miss things, and you are also apt to not have as much appreciation for your experience. So don't rush it. Don't rush these things. You know, it's so funny that we just had that conversation as an aside. It's like, I didn't get my call yet. It's never going to come. And this urgency that I want it. It's like, don't rush it, because when this person comes and when this person does communicate with you, or when you finally stand up and communicate your truth, you want to savor that experience. You don't want it to be something that felt rushed or forced in any way. The other thing is you want to be more honest with yourself, because there are ways in which you are maybe not being super honest with yourself because it maybe hurts if you are. So you want to take a look at, you know, uncomfortable truths that have a little sting in them, um, and um, maybe consider. How do I want to say? How do you want to receive an uncomfortable truth? Usually we're uncomfortable with truths because they trigger shame. We feel some kind of responsibility for the situation that we're in, and that's what's uncomfortable. So I want you to allow yourself to be somebody who gets to make mistakes, or, you know, think about things in a distorted way, and you get to change your mind, and it's okay. Like, there's no shame in it. You forgive yourself. Imagine that you're your own child, and you're not going to hold it against yourself that you didn't know how to do something until you practiced it, or until you had the experience that you needed to have in regards to it. So that will help you to be a bit more honest with yourself. So don't rush these messages. Don't rush this situation. Be more truthful and honest about why you want things to go fast. Usually it's because you don't like where you are and you are expecting a knight to come and save you. We all know how that works in the end. There wouldn't be a billion readings about it if it wasn't like an actual issue, you know. Okay, so that's the theme of the reading. Don't rush it. Now, we're going to look at the masculine and feminine at the same time. We're going to look at masculine headspace, feminine heart space. But the way that I do this is that I read it from both perspectives. I didn't even know I could do this until I started doing it, because I was usually just doing like 2 separate decks for each one, and it took like 2 hours. It was like a whole thing. But I found that I'm actually able to do this with just the one deck for each individual. So we're starting out here with the masculine headspace of the page of Pentacles. And Tanya, I'm loving this because it's literally the image here where there's this like little toxic kid here standing next to the mailbox, and he looks real happy about the letter he's going to send. Like, I'm going to give you a message. And in my mind, I'm thinking about like the message I got from my person last night, which was like another message embedded in a story, which is typically the small gesture that he usually makes. But what I'm sensing is that it's a precipitation towards something that he feels he needs to do on a much grander scale, because the feminine's top of the deck, the heart space, is the King of Wands. And so there is this feeling, this urge to go farther than this, just this little small gesture. But to actually put in more energy, put in more effort, and fix things. We see this masculine energy here with like this strange, the wands and the housewives tarot are like this pipe system here with these cleaning implements on it. So we're just getting this image of like, because the housewives tarot is supposed to represent when America was great, like very tongue in cheek, like very, very tongue in cheek. It's not actually suggesting that. It's just hearkening back to that time when there was that sort of like Americana advertising propaganda type thing, where there were these very distinct roles for each person. And then they fuck with it in a really great way, which I love. The idea we're supposed to get here is that masculine is finally going to do those projects. He's finally going to go fix that thing that's broken. He's finally just got this fire and energy within him to just do it. Now, if we look at this for the feminine energy, what we can see is her headspace is not seeing very much coming from this masculine energy. She's getting little things, the liquid courage call or the little embedded message in the story. And when that happens for her, she's like, bitch, if I don't see more than this little toxic shit, then I'm going to take action and go, because I'm not going to keep enduring the situation with you where you're just like breadcrumbing me. That's not okay. I feel that I am worthy of receiving something more formidable from you, and that I'm absolutely worthy of you fixing what you have broken, right? So it's so that this when I started reading the cards this, I was like, oh damn, I can see both of their perspectives, which is really cool. The masculine, right, is like, I've only been doing a little bit and I really feel I should do more. And the feminine is like, bitch is only doing a little bit and he better do more or I'm gonna do more. Okay. Underlying all thoughts and decisions, the masculine is in his emperor energy, but he's not just any emperor in this case. He's literally guarding a child and he's keeping the zombies out of his home. So if we're seeing him take this protective stance, then we know that his sense of self is that he's really protected, maybe his children, if he has other children from another family, since this is a collective reading, or his inner child, which is usually the thing that is most stands out most for me. Both the Empress and the Emperor in this deck actually are guarding their inner child. And it's like you have achieved this sense of self, this strong sense of self, your authentic self, and you're able to protect the wounded child that has caused you to take actions in the past that were less than savory, or to accept treatment that was less than savory. And so he is actually feeling that he has entered into this energy now where he can protect himself, his family, and probably the divine feminine from the wolves at the door, so to speak. We also have the Five of Wands, which shows the feminine energy, and she's really struggling. And it's interesting because somebody who is struggling with all of these things, and then we're seeing that her overall energy was somebody who's going to help take care of it. And I don't want this to feel like a message that diminishes the feminine strength at all. I want it to actually emphasize the feminine's openness and receptivity to help, because it is the feminine part of a person that allows themselves to receive. So when a masculine, the stereotypical, like you're driving somewhere, you're traveling with a masculine and a feminine identifying gendered couple, and they're lost, and the feminine is like, just ask somebody for help, and the masculine is like, no, I can do this myself. And there is this sense of identity that he gets from not having to be in his feminine side that is distorted. That's why that's something that we like chafe against, because it's distorted. You're not supposed to never receive help. That is this ridiculous notion that honestly more and more as I start to understand like politics and economy, I'm like, a lot of these things that we've been taught really keep us poor and like beholden to very wealthy people because we never ask for assistance. So we just stay on the bottom and get trampled. And that's like a convenient thing for the PTB, right? So more and more I'm trying to dismantle these ideas that, you know, masculine identifying gendered individuals can't ask for help. That's fucked up. That's bullshit. So what we see here is that the feminine is open to receiving help with the struggle that she's having. And that means that your person is too, because your person can tell that in order to have protected his inner child, he literally like remained in this impasse with the feminine. He needed help, but he couldn't ask for it. He wanted to do it all himself. The feminine we're seeing here is feeling blocked from the masculine. It's like he's on this side of the door and she's on the other side of the door. She's feeling like that she's tried everything to clean up her thinking, to clean up her environment, to like really put herself in this Four of Wands energy, and yet somehow there is still this conflict. It's still like he's blocking her from entering. So this is underlying the situation. He needs to open up and take action, because if divine feminine continues to come up against that wall, she's going to take action to break the struggle between the two of them. What they have both been dealing with in the past, we have the masculine energy here with this Lovers card, and then we have the feminine energy with the Page of Swords card. It's 2 pages, 1 emperor, and 1 king. So there's a very interesting growth and development taking place. This is also in the past energy. We see that the divine feminine in this image is drained from the love that she's given to the masculine. And she's drained because she can feel the masculine in the background watching everything that's going on. You know, he's definitely paying attention to what she's doing. He's definitely trying to like make some kinds of gestures, because we already saw that here. Like he's doing all these little things. But he's, look, this is 2 different decks, and he only appears as a grown-ass adult in his headspace. But, you know, in the spread so far, he's just showing up as this little boy that, you know, you're just kind of doing these really immature things, which of course he knows and feels embarrassed by, which is why he remains just watching, because he doesn't know yet how to approach. Now, the Page of Swords is willing to do it though. The Page of Swords might feel like a child in the face of love, in the face of how the dynamic between them has been imbalanced. He might feel like he doesn't know what to do to overcome it, but he's gonna try. He's not going to just remain on the sidelines. He's gonna make an effort of some kind, no matter if he's gonna be successful or not. He's just gonna dive in and do it. So he's been trying to work up the courage to just go for it, to just make the decision to just love the feminine and restore her vitality that he really has drained from her in the dynamic that they have been in. In the current energy, Hanged Man, Temperance, and the 3 of Wands. Do you think we're waiting around and having to be really patient? Because that's literally all these fucking cards. It's like, excuse me, which cards in the tarot deck would you associate most with waiting and patience? And I would be like, the Hanged Man, Temperance, and the 3 of Wands. And then probably I would say the Knight of Pentacles is causing all of this noise to happen. So it's just incredible that all these cards came out for this position, because what is the current energy? The current energy is we're trying to have to regulate our emotions and our triggered feelings that come up during this time while we are waiting for this masculine energy to gain the perspective on himself that the feminine energy has on him already. The feminine energy is like, you're a king, you're an emperor, I see you. And the masculine is like, no, I'm more like a child, and a wayward child. And I'm not really a king, and I'm not really an emperor, and that's all in your head. And the divine feminine is like, okay, then. well, if you're not actually an emperor, then I'm going to go. And the divine masculine was like, no, I am an emperor. I am. And then you're like, okay, then let's like make a decision about the connection. And the divine masculine is like, no, not yet. I'm not ready. But you know what not ready means? Saying you're not ready is a way to abandon how you truly feel. I learned that the other day from a reader, and I think that is one of the most valuable things I've ever heard. Saying I'm not ready to put my record out. I'm not ready to go on tour. I'm not ready to get into this relationship is a way for you to abandon how you feel. Period. Because now is the time. There isn't future. Your whole life is a series of current moments. And then your poor recall of them or your projected worry or fantasy about them. But your whole life is a series of right now. That's all that's ever happening is now. And once you start to embrace that, time isn't going like this, right? It's going like this. And you're just in the center of it. And it's your current moment that matters. So we are waiting. We are waiting. It's a good Kate Bush song. I truly hope that Kate Bush's song coming out and being popular again caused people to go look at her entire collection, because as much as I love that song, and I totally do love the Running Up That Hill song, her entire oeuvre is incredible. She's one of the only artists I know that is fearless about writing about any topic. She doesn't only write love songs. She has one song where she is envisioning herself as a soldier during the World War I, like in the trenches. I think it's like There Goes a Something. It's like, okay, remember. I can't remember the exact song, but I'm just like, dude, how the hell do you come up with these ideas and then somehow make a song that sounds cool about that? Like, who could sing a song being a World War I soldier, like, and make it something I want to listen to? Like, I can't even understand. So she's incredible. Please go look at her entire collection. The Sensual World is incredible. Hounds of Love, which is where Running Up the Hill, that hill is from, is really good. There's another one. I'm trying to think of what the cover looks like right now. It's got like, it's an illustration of her and there's a bunch of like stuff. What the hell is that one called? I don't know. It'll come to me, but Kate Bush forever. Okay. So where are we going? We are here. We are patient. We are waiting for this perspective to change. We can see the future. We're trying to regulate our emotions about it. We're trying to be like, look, I know it's going to happen. There's no reason for me to get my panties in a bind over this. Like, it's going to happen, you know? So in this current energy, we are headed towards here. Look at, there's your liquid courage, Tanya. Okay, we have the Two of Swords in the headspace. This is divine masculine's energy. Got to make a decision. Don't want to do it. Divine feminine, he better make a decision. I'm open to receiving his communication. If he would decide to do it, then I'd be open to it. And the only thing that's going to break this standstill is a communication of feelings. You calling me up and being like, you know, yeah, I was thinking blah, 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 and having it all be the thoughts you're thinking and not the feelings you are having. We got a problem. You cannot break this standstill with thoughts. You can only break this standstill with feelings. They both know it. They both feel it. Because they're on the same page. I keep seeing readers who keep saying the reason why your person is this, that, and the other thing is because they are your soul, because they are you. I just want to say that is true for every person. I don't believe that there are individual split off souls from the greater consciousness. I believe that we are all one. And that is just what your person teaches you. So your mom, your dad, your siblings, the person that you hate at work, that is you too. When you're on the bus and there's some random person that seems like unsettled and maybe frightening, that is you. Like there is not a single individual on the planet that is not you. There is not a single element that you are not also composed of. So I really reject and push back against this ego-based concept that there is this person who is you and then no one else is you. Everyone is you. That's why this energy is reflected back to you, not just from in your love relationships, but also in regards to your finances and your mind. Why is the energy with your person similar to the energy with your pocketbook? Why is this energy similar to that? Why is this because we are all a reflection. We are literally designed to mirror one another. It's a brilliant system. If I were going to create an AI system, I would make it like this. That's what I would do. I would definitely be like, oh, they can all learn from each other. They can all reflect back each other's behaviors. They can all and as soon as they figure that out, the kingdom of God is within you. As soon as they figure that out, they'll be masterful of everything they do. It's a perfect system. And then they were like, wait a minute, I made the amnesia a little too strong. They have no idea that they're all together now. And they're all fighting each other and they're all separate because the illusion of separation is too strong. Now we have an issue. I need to bring some people in, raise their awareness, and help them show everyone how we are all one. And one of the best ways of doing this is through the journey of love, because people are driven to do that because of reproduction and everything. So that will be a good place for us to be able to get into the sense of loving everyone and everything unconditionally, because we are all one. So for the readers that keep pushing that message, push back at that message. That message is inaccurate. There is nobody that is free of being you. Everybody is you and you are everyone else. That's what I believe. And I think that's why if you get on certain readers' pages with Twin Flame, you can get frustrated a lot because what they're saying doesn't actually play out for you, because what they're getting you to focus on is an individual. And what you're supposed to be focused on is how the energy is true within inside of you and how that dynamic is playing out with not just that one individual, but in many areas of your life. And thank you for saying I nailed this. There's nothing I like better than being told I'm right. All right, so let's keep going. I pity my person, right? Like, could you imagine having to be, I mean, honestly, my person has got to be as strong as me, because I can't imagine being married to me, honestly, and having your own opinion. Good luck. No, I do listen to people. It just takes me some time. And I need facts. You got to give me receipts. Okay. So let's clarify this situation where the masculine has really drained the feminine energy. And keep this in mind. This is your mind, right? Your ego, the masculine energy, thoughts, intellect, action, giving. You have drained yourself. Okay. Emotionally, you have put all of your emotion, put all of your energy, put all of your time into this masculine energy. The masculine's aware of it, feels responsible and ashamed. Remember I said that shame is going to be an issue. It's going to keep you from overcoming and forgiving yourself. So the masculine has shame for having done this, which is why he hides when he tries to check in on the feminine. Because remember, he's in that position of being like, I'm not ready, which is abandoning what he feels. So let's clarify that position. Yep, not surprisingly, this is, of course, my past placement. So this is the discomfort that everybody's been feeling. We have the 8 of Swords and the 3 of Swords. So protecting himself from his success. You know, when I first started reading tarot, everybody used to always say the 3 of Wands, or the 3 of, oh my God, I can't talk. I'm touching the 3 of Wands, which is why I said that. The 8 of Swords is a self-sabotage card. And then I saw this coach that I worked with a while back totally reject the concept of self-sabotage. And I felt it so strongly. She was right, is that self-sabotage, looking at the actions that you take as sabotaging yourself, allows you to do what? Hate on yourself more. If you think that you are sabotaging yourself, then you see yourself as an enemy. But if you embrace the reasoning behind avoiding what you are desiring, you will have more compassion and understanding for yourself. Because the only reason that you prevent something from happening is because your mindset is one that is not yet able to receive what you've asked for. And if you get it, you're going to lose it. You're not going to be able to keep it. And you are protecting your heart from the painful experience of getting something before you are consciously ready for it. That is why you have to emotionally detach and abandon what you feel. And there are times when it's appropriate, because if the masculine had come to the feminine, before he had worked on a lot of these issues with his self-concept, then their relationship would have looked very imbalanced. And the way that I know that is true is because that while I have never been in a physical union with my person ever, I have experienced energetically and just from our back and forth, our cycling back and forth, that those experiences, and they've been incredibly painful. And I know other people who have been in relationship and then going in and out of relationship for these reasons. The fact is, until you are consciously ready, and consciously ready means you've made a decision and a choice that you are not going to abandon how you feel, even when it's uncomfortable. You will abandon how you feel until you're able to get there. It's just that's the facts. And the facts actually help you to have compassion and understanding for your person, because they are actually protecting you when they are not coming in. So again, I heard years ago, rejection is spiritual protection. It is. It is spiritual protection. Let's clarify this waiting energy, Hanged Man, Temperance, and the Three of Wands for the mother of all waiting energy that you could possibly get in the tarot, with the Hermit energy and the Queen of Cups. Love that for us. Okay, so in both of these images, and I'm going to hold this one closer here so you guys can see this on YouTube. You can see the Divine Feminine is reclining on a couch here, and she's got all these dead bodies that are, well, zombies that are boarded up. They can't get to her. So none of these toxic individuals that used to be able to like cramp her style can come in anymore. And she, she's got a book, she's got a box of chocolates. She looks kind of comfortable. Now, the thing about this card is that this is how the divine masculine felt. This is how he sleeps at night. If you've ever like, how does my person sleep at night doing all this to me? It's because this is what he imagines you're doing. He's like, oh, she's alone. Nobody can bother her. My toxic behaviors aren't going to get to her. She can be safe and she can be secure. And I know that because this is what I do when I can't handle what's going on around me. I just board up everything. I block it all out and I retreat within myself. And it's much, much safer there. So I know that the divine feminine is actually really safe right now. Now, it's true. She is safe from your bullshit, but she's alone. And no one enjoys that feeling because we're meant to be in connection. So for the masculine to have thought like, oh, she's safe, he's recognizing with this Queen of Cups in his heart space, first of all, that they are the same, that they do have similar behaviors and patterns in their lives, and that if he feels like shit when he's all alone, then it's likely she's not just reclining with a book and a box of chocolates. I don't know if you happen to follow me on TikTok, but the other night I posted a story. It was Saturday night. I went up to my room at 11 p.m. The house was dead. My brother was out with his friends. Usually like late at night, sometimes my brother and I'll hang out. So I at least have my brother. He's awesome. He's 23. He's the best. I literally helped raise him. I left high school early just because I had gone to Berklee College of Music for a summer and I transferred credits so I could graduate early because I just hated high school and didn't want to be there anymore. And I had learned all I needed to learn from that place. And so I left. I live in a small town and I left my high school and started to get ready for college. And my mom was on bed rest because she was pregnant with my brother. And so I helped around the house and I took like a nannying job in town. But I kind of disappeared. Like people in high school didn't see me. Then when it came for graduation time to walk, there was a baby. So like there's been this rumor forever that my brother is mine, but he's not, I swear. If he was mine, I would claim him. He's the best. But that's how much older I'm 18 years older than him, but we're still very close. So normally I'll have friends, I'll have him to kick it with or something. We just finished watching Clark together on Netflix because we both love Bill Skarsgård. It was so good. But he was gone. Everybody was gone. I took Bowie, we went upstairs, I got in bed, and I was actually looking forward. I'd had a decent day for the most part. It just like once I hit that part in the evening, I suddenly just got like really down. And I put on a library ASMR. Don't judge me. I'm ADHD and I fucking love it. And I grabbed my Agatha Christie mystery, which used to be my grandpa's book, and I've been reading his books that he had, like, and I started to read it, and then I felt horrible. And I got online and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I think about it, I'm like, what, you can't get in bed and relax with a book? Like, what is it? But it's like, I can't be alone anymore. I'm literally dying inside. And so many people commented, this is me. And like, I'm going through this too. So you need human connection, and you need to be surrounded by other people. There are times when you need hermit energy, but it's not something that you should have been in for 14 years, right? So there's compassion here that is coming through. The masculine is having compassion and understanding for this situation, that it wasn't actually safe and fun for the feminine to be waiting for him while she was all alone. And that while he felt alone doing all the things he was trying to do to like make it possible for them to be together, that it didn't really help her feel any better. And so he's having compassion for that. He's also acknowledging that even though he left her completely alone, she still loves him. She's still sensitive to him. She still has emotions for him. And I think he's humbled by that. That's the feeling I'm getting as I look at the clock and it says 10:55. And the final placements here, we have the Two of Swords, the Knight of Cups. This is the finally making a decision to come forward and say something, to actually make a choice. This is clarified by holy shit, the world, and judgment. That's crazy. We have the last two cards of, or not the last two cards of the tarot, but the last card of the tarot, and then the other card that suggests it is Judgment Day. And look, the earth is burning down here in this depiction of Judgment Day. This is a make or break moment for the divine couple right now. So Sense is a collective reading, and there are people at a lot of different points in their journey. What we're really seeing here is that for some in the collective, there will be a completion of this cycle of waiting for the divine masculine to make a decision, and there will be union, and that is what will be happening, and there will be a reason to celebrate. For others, though, we are looking at, remember the caduceus and the Two of Cups, those snakes that intertwine, as they go in and out of separation. So there are different places. This is why when you get readings and you're getting a lot of disappointment, you may be getting disappointment because you're really fixated on the final outcome, number one. And number two, you're not as tuned into the fact that there are going to be times where you're going to come in and out of the relationship. And the separation is where you can accomplish the healing that you need to do to come back together. So for some, there is going to be a complete implosion. The divine feminine is going to be the one that takes action. She's going to weigh out the situation. She's going to decide that she can't wait anymore for this masculine to make the decision. And she's going to complete this cycle with him and move on. For others, he's going to make the choice to come forward and actually end the stagnation that has been present, and ask for forgiveness and seek forgiveness and try to fix what has been broken around the house for some time. All right, let's get our oracles and then we will call it a day in under an hour, hopefully. That's kind of good. So, okay, I'm not surprised, but also surprised to see that the archetype that the union or that the connection is experiencing right now is the Knight energy. And seeing as that is this, Knight of Cups energy coming in, what I'm excited about is we're seeing the light traits of it. So no longer are we seeing an allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle or romantic delusion. We are seeing loyalty, romance, and chivalry, and a love of honor, and a releasing of the romantic delusion. That's a really positive thing. So I do see that, this embodies all the Knight energy as well. So it's like the swiftness of the Knight of Swords that we started out with. It's the solid reliability of the Knight of Pentacles. It's the passion of the Knight of Wands. And it is the love and romance expressed by the Knight of Cups, embodied entirely in that one archetype. So right now the connection is at a peak point for coming together romantically. Your guardian right now that is protecting you is protecting you, helping you to be brave. This was in reverse. Again, like we talked about liquid courage here, there is bravery required to go forward. Also, this Page of Swords energy, courage and bravery. It takes bravery to come forward, to ask for to ask for forgiveness, to give apologies, to admit when we were wrong. Remember, that wasn't something we were so comfortable doing before. Admitting that, you know, you can make mistakes and it's okay. Like, there is compassion here. The feminine understands that, you know, as difficult as it was, she understands sometimes things are difficult. Like, sometimes they aren't exactly as you want them to be. She's not taking that personally anymore. There is a lot of strength within her in regards to the experience she's had. So the masculine just needs to be brave and understand how strong the feminine is and how much strength she has and how much compassion. We need to cultivate this mindset, which is, I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. And that kind of, oop, my brother's alarm is going off. That kind of brings us back to that point that I was saying, that we are meant to be on this journey to see everyone and everything through the eyes of love. Now, if you look at our current society, and you start to think about what would really happen if everyone looked at everyone through the eyes of love, you can see that the system we have would be totally dismantled. Because if we stepped into our feminine power collectively, and I'm not here talking about feminine identifying gendered individuals, I'm talking about feminine energy collectively, the heart space. If we were to step into the power of the heart space collectively, we would no longer perpetuate these very emotionally detached behaviors that would cause you to have, you know, the wealth of an entire nation that you don't need for any reason, and then watch people suffer. That just wouldn't happen, because you would see everyone through the eyes of love instead of just seeing your own needs as the most important thing and everyone else's just being like not important. Now, even my ego pushes back against these concepts when I'm like, you know, I want wealth. Obviously, everybody does, but only because it represents the freedom to be your authentic self. It allows you to, you know, in our culture, we think of wealth as getting you out of jail free card, you know, so you're not going to be imprisoned by any of the shameful behaviors you have. It allows you to be able to take yourself out of extremely uncomfortable situations. You know, everyone else is having to follow all the rules of the pandemic, but you and your friends can go to your private island and, you know, fuck everybody else. And there are these elements of wealth that represent for you the ability to leave what is uncomfortable. And it's why you crave it. It's not necessarily just because you're greedy, but because it represents a freedom now that it never did before. And I think it's important to understand that it is so vital for us to shift the world around us, not through a relationship with another person, not just because you're with your twin, but because your twin taught you that you need to perceive fear through the eyes of love. You need to not be angry and abusive towards a person because they are afraid, right? That's not how we handle fear. Growing up, if I was afraid of something, it would piss off my mom. She would be mad. She would be mad. Like, if I was afraid of the dark and she wanted to sleep and it was impinging upon her sleep that she would have to comfort me, she would get mad at me for having that fear. Instead of being compassionate and understanding, being like, this is a child. The darkness is scary when you're a child, or there are thoughts she's having. My mom did not have the emotional capacity to soothe me because she hadn't received that soothing either. It's a huge issue with the boomers, right? They were just sort of, they had to like do everything themselves, and then they for some reason took that on their children and don't really understand why, but that is what happened. So you have to see people doing fear-based things and have compassion for them. And it's hard. How do you have compassion for a serial killer? I mean, a lot of people do now, which is weird, but I think it's because they glamorize them, not because they truly understand the compassion. But that person has done something so depraved, so incredibly harmful to so many families, and has caused so much destruction. How do you have compassion for them? By understanding that every single one of their actions was determined from a point in time that they had very little control over, and that they acted in a state of fear against whatever was happening for them for their entire lives. And it distorted their brain development, and it caused them to be disconnected. And they actually have a physical reason, like an actual physical reason for not being able to control their impulses. And does compassion mean we allow them to freely, do their thing? No. Compassion means we put them somewhere and give them compassionate care, even if they suck. Even if they're horrible, even if they spit at you when you do that, you still just treat them with compassion, which is why I will never be able to understand the prison system. Because if you're trying to create a society of people who don't harm each other, taking a person who has been grievously harmed since childhood and putting them into another situation where they are going to continue to be grievously harmed does nothing for them. It doesn't shift society. It doesn't help us at all. It actually makes things worse. And it's so obvious when you can see that, but people refuse to see that because they have big egos. They're very sensitive, and they let their mind and their fear dictate their behaviors. So it's one of the most important lessons that you can learn. You have to perceive fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. We're getting the protection message from Stag Spirit, which is from this Colette Baron Reed deck, and it is number 58. And the message is, others may not be as far along as you are on your journey. When Stag Spirit appears in the protection position, you are called to be compassionate. I can't fucking make this shit up. And patient as you find yourself leading the way. When others struggle to follow you, they may be unsure that you can be trusted, challenging you to be kind and strong, challenging your value and questioning your worth. Know that Spirit has put you in this place at this time for a purpose and will not abandon you when you need help with your new responsibilities. Or perhaps you are actually uncomfortable leading, maybe temporarily trapped by your small self, and are therefore promoting yourself too strongly, afraid that others might see weakness or imperfection in you. Let go of your fears and let Stag Spirit remind you that you have what it takes to lead wisely and ethically if you practice self-honesty and listen to others who wish to support you. Did we not start this entire thing with self-honesty? I can't, oh my God. Just crazy to me how the messages will be so in alignment. It's freaking amazing. Okay. It is almost Samhain, so I am using my Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle, and we got the Ritual card today. It is number 33, which might be significant for some people, and of course, significant for Union. And I opened right to it, and it says, dedication and harnessing. The poem on the card says, can you feel them? Wild creatures linked by the very blood you will spill into your craft. A ritual of dedication to self and those whose gazes hold fire, but whose whispers carry you softly through the unknown. By the way, this is also on page 139, so it's 33 on page 139. Ritual is the very foundation of a witch's practice. It is the doorway to worlds unseen and a rite of passage. It is the deliberate honoring of the wise ones who've walked before us, the spiritual ones who watch over us. It is also a dedication to self, a place where you can find yourself in your practice and harness the power within. Ritual is a dedication to your craft and is about you showing up for things that are essential to you, be it going to work, organizing your kids, or hitting the gym. Spiritual rituals are no different. If anything, they're even more critical than day-to-day stuff of life. It is important to take time to honor your magic and the magic of those who you call upon. By doing so, you are making a choice. If you have pulled ritual, it is because you are being drawn to honor your magic in a more profound way. You are being asked to explore your power as a witch, truly, and to find the proper time and energy to develop your craft. Making time to honor each step of ritual magic through intention is like sending out a beacon saying, I am here and ready to own my power as a witch. The powers that be will notice your efforts and begin to give you more power as a reward. There is a warning that comes with this card that too much of any good thing can be a bad thing. This is especially true if you are performing rituals on autopilot or for the sake of saying you did it. There is a difference in your magic when you do a ritual because you believe in it rather than doing it out of obligation. If you are not fully invested in your magic, it won't be as powerful or effective. Beautiful messages coming from that. And the final message from my, I think my tarot was reversed today. Yeah, it was, because these are all supposed to be upright. So interesting. For me, then that suggests that you need to turn something around in your life in order for you to properly experience something. But we're getting reciprocation here in generosity. So if you've been the giver, you're about to be the receiver. And if you've been the receiver, you're about to give. And so that is basically your theme for this week. If you've been the giver, you are the receiver now. And if you've been the receiver, it is time for you to give. So apply that in whatever way that you will. Thank you so much for being here with me today for the collective tune in. I am really feeling pretty good about this energy. I think that even if you are at a point on your journey where you might be choosing to release your person, and kind of end the cycle with them right now, you're still doing it with a lot of empowerment. And the time between the separation and the intersections, it gets shorter and shorter and shorter until finally, you're looking right at one another. So it doesn't mean you're going to be in this position with them for a long time. And I do think that there is, particularly the people who have been following me for some time and have related a lot to the messages that I have been giving, I do think that for us, that we are in a later stage of the journey and are looking at coming into union really now. Like this is it. Now is the time. It's the time of harvest, and then we go into the winter. We can rest in the knowledge of being with our person in the way that we have desired, and then come spring, start your new life together and start a new cycle. So thank you so much. I shall see all of you here on the YouTubes again later this week. I am thinking about putting something out on Wednesday. For those of you that were taking the Origins of the Twin Flame class with me, bear with me. I am trying to be the most informed teacher I can possibly be. It's been a while since I took world history. I wanted to brush up on the origins of belief in general that we have documented. So it starts with Sumeria, continues through Egypt. And I wanted to also try to find some sources on Egyptian beliefs that were not Plutarch, because we are studying Plutarch, but remember, he's a Greek dude who is giving us his perspective that's outside of the culture. So I wanted to go and do a little bit more research before I start to teach his concepts. Even though his concepts are very important, I just wanted to do my due diligence, and it's taken me some time to do it. So it will resume as soon as I can inform you of the most accurate details about what he's saying as I possibly can, because I didn't want to just blindly teach that and then have you feel that that was like doctrine without having gone back and looked at what do Egyptian hieroglyphs actually tell us, who actually translates those, how do we come to understand the meaning of those, and then how did Plutarch filter that through his own experiences. I would not be a proper historian if I did not do that, and I studied as an art historian, so I'm doing that. So it will be back up. It will be awesome. We will be starting the myth of Isis and Osiris. You're going to be able to see all of the similarities and differences, stark differences to the bullshit people say on TikTok. And you'll be able, just more informed, so that when you're getting stuff in your feed, it's not throwing you off course because you're getting a bunch of messages that are just really, there's just a lot of people that are so in ego, and then they go and teach. They are not humble. They do not accept possible different outcomes. Like it's frustrating, because I do think they do some damage that's unnecessary, and it's coming from their own wounding. So with that, I shall see you later. YouTube people, please make donations today or book readings today. I just want to really achieve that financial stability that I need. And one of those ways I'm very excited about is becoming a member. $5.55 a month. It's a small donation and really goes a long way. And the more people who are doing that, the more stability I will have, because it will be consistent income for me. And it opens up a whole world to you of a lot of readings that I don't just have on my regular YouTube page. And of course, if I do have part 2s of Tell Me Everything spreads or different spreads on my TikTok, they will be found over there if you don't see them on my TikTok page. And I'm going to start doing a movie night and a couple different things with members. So I'm getting all of those pieces together. I have a meeting with my assistant today, and hopefully we will be able to knock that out of the ballpark. It takes me a long time to do things. I'm only one person, and I've not had a whole lot of abundance to be able to get people to help me do things at this point. So, because I like to pay people for their work, even though people don't necessarily like to pay other people for their work, I do want to pay people for what they are going to do for me. So please help me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if you do want a personal reading now, you can hop over to TikTok, and I will be doing personal readings for whoever wants them. And then I will sign off for the day and potentially see you later tonight, although I'm not sure about that. All right, everybody, take care. Thank you, YouTube.